Now we today study about the acute and chronic pharyngitis. My name is Dr. Parvez Hanif from Ghulam Muhammad Bas Medical College Sector in Pakistan. Now, what is the main etiology of the acute pharyngitis? What is the etiology of the acute pharyngitis? It may be due to the bacterial, maybe viral, or maybe fungal. Now I'm showing you some table. What are some bacteria and viruses, and fungus which may cause the acute pharyngitis? These are viral. You can see here in the table the rhinoviruses, influenza viruses, parainfluenza viruses, measles and coxsackie virus, herpes virus, and CMV virus. You can see in the bacterial table there is streptococcal group A beta hemolyticus, means streptococcus pyogenes, and another is diphtheria and the gonococcus. These are some bacteria which may cause the pharyngitis, but mostly caused by the streptococcus. In fungal, which is the Candida albicans, chlamydia, and Pharyngitis, they are the most common fungal. And another is the toxoplasmosis. This is the parasitic, very rare. So mostly viral and bacterial, which may cause the acute pharyngitis. Now you can see here the pharyngitis. They are small, with infection at the base of the pharyngitis, of the tonsil. These are the some, pharyngitis. How this appearance of the pharyngitis in the base of the pharynx. Now, what are some clinical features of the acute pharyngitis? These are some mild, some are the moderate, some are the very severe cases. Now, in the middle cases, there is infection, there is discomfort in the throat, some malaise, some low-grade fever as well, but very rare. Mostly in the middle infection, there is very rare fever and malaise, but discomfort in throat is common. And pharynx in this case is congested, and no lymphadenopathy is occurred. Okay. Now, what are the moderate and severe infections which present? Pain in the throat, dysphagia, headache, malaise, and high fever. The pharynx in these cases shows erythema, exudate, and enlargement of the tonsil and lymphoid follicles on the posterior pharyngeal wall, and very severe cases show edema of the soft palate. And the uvula and enlargement of the cervical node as well in these very severe cases. You can see here some of the beta streptococcus pyogenes, which may cause the pharyngitis. How this causes the pharyngitis? Here is some example you can see here. This is the streptococcus pyogene. The streptococcus pyogene would invade the mucosa. Okay, the invade in the mucosa, then inhibition of the immune system, and it can survive and growth in the blood. You see that. Then it is spreading into the various organs where the blood flows. Then these bacteria can, transfer to all the body due to bloodstream. You can see here this the white drainage sac and some swollen throat at the break of the pharynx. This is the acute pharyngitis. Where the tonsils and bag, white drainage sac. Okay, these are the some appearance of the acute pharyngitis. Now you can see some of the pathogenesis. How these Dhingra streptococcus, how we can say streptococcus pyogenes, how it causes the acute pharyngitis. You can see the group A streptococcus infection adhesion including the lactic acid and M protein, which are the you can see as toxins. You can see as definitely nutritional adherence to the pharyngeal epithelial state, which we have discussed before that, how these bacteria can invade the mucosa. Now, these releases the exit toxins like you can see here streptolysin B and SAP, B and C and SSA. Some are some toxins to the previous status beta immunological. Now, there acts as a receptor antigen to stimulate the T cell to release the hydrogen. Then after they are invading the cellular injury and hemolysis, and there platelet patches and erythema which may cause, which we have to know about the how the patches, how the erythema PTC or the occurs. It is due to the cellular injury and hemolysis, which is due to the produced by the some cytokines, some toxins of the beta hemolytic. Now, what they can stimulate the mononuclear cell, which may releases the IL-1. You can see here IL-1. It stimulates the hypothalamus temperature control center. Okay, you can you know very well about that. IL-1 can cause the fever. Okay, we have discussed in clinical symptoms. The fever is also occurred, not in the milder cases, but in moderate and severe cases, the fever is also occurred. And how the fever occurs? Now we have had discussed. They have to stimulate the mononuclear cell that releases the IL-1. The IL-1 would have stimulation hypothalamus temperature control center, which causes the fever. Now you can see here it also releases the TNF-A alpha, human necrotic factor. And what this factor can do, you can see here, is a facilitate WBC infiltration into the site of infection. Then what happens? It releases the endothelial modulatory, which increase the gaps between the endothelial cells. Then what happens? The fluid and the protein from the vessel being leaked into the interstitial spaces. It means the gap is increased between endothelial cells. Then the fluid and the protein from the vessel, because the gap is reduced, it is widened into the interstitial space. That may cause the pharyngeal edema. That pharyngeal edema would have mean increased lymph drainage to the regional nodes, which have enlarged and anterior cervical node, which may become more than the 1 centimeter. Then, in the stage of the facilitating WBC infiltration into the site of infection, they have the WBC causing GAS. Okay, so you can see a GAS in the flux It means that group A is Streptococci pyogenes. Okay. Now you can see here WBC killing of the group A Streptococci. If WBC kills, then what happens? Now tell something about that. If WBC has not killed the beta Streptococci, then this procedure is done. If it is if WBC kills the beta hemolytic, you can say Streptococci pyogenes, then this procedure is done. We have discussed about this, how they may cause the large, tender, and inferior cervical node and their origina, how they may cause the pharyngeal edema. We have discussed there. Now, how the WBC can kill the beta Streptococci. Now, WBC killing the accumulation and deposition of the bacterial cellular gases and the products of the inflammatory response. They have some pharyngeal aggregates. These are the some toxins that are released by the streptococcal pyogenic exotoxins A, B, C, okay, and streptococcal supraantigens. You can see here, here are some exotoxins. Another toxin is the streptolysin B, which may enter into systemic circulation and binds to cholesterol and epithelial cells membranes. Then they form the aggregates, toxic aggregates, when the osmotic cell lyses and the local inflammatory response occurs. Okay, then the rest may also form on the skin. Okay, this toxin can form, is not much, very high risky, but you can see the supraantigens and some streptococcal pyogen exotoxins that may cause it to very highly dosed pharyngitis. Now, how to diagnose this? We have the culture of the throat swab. It is very helpful. The diagnosis of the bacterial pharyngitis. It can detect 90% of group A streptococci. Okay, and diphtheria is also cultured in this special media. Okay, and swab from the suspected test of the gonococcal pharyngitis should be cultured immediately without delay. The gonococcal pharyngitis should be cultured immediately without delay. It means if you have delayed, then this bacteria cannot be found, cannot be diagnosed. Should be on the condition of the gonococcal. Okay. If any bacteria is not diagnosed, it means viral infection may also occur. Now, what is the treatment? And some of the general mayors also, for the acute pharyngitis, there is antioxidant, warm, saline, gases, or the pharyngeal irrigation, analgesic, form to manage the treatment, and local discomfort, because in severe cases can be relieved by the Ibuprofen, and used before the use to facilitate swelling. And some of the specific treatment as well. For the group A beta hemolytic test is treated with penicillin B, 4 times a day for the 10 days. And benzocaine penicillin B intramuscular for the patient who has weight less than 60 and 2 million in 1 IM for patients above 160 lb. Penicillin sensitive individuals, erythromycin 10-20 to 40 mg kg per body weight, milligram per kg body weight daily, divided in oral doses for 10 days is fully effective. Diphtheria is treated by the diphtheria antitoxin administration of the penicillin or erythromycin, and gonococcal pharyngitis responds to conventional doses of the penicillin. Here are some viral infections which may cause the pharyngitis. Some group A coccus virus, mostly affects the children. They have some, features about clinical symptoms. They have fever, sore throat, and vesicular erosion on the soft plate and palate. The vesicles are very small, but they are surrounded by the zone of erythema. I have told you before, they have some, erythema. Vesicles are run by the zones of the erythema. Another viral is the infectious mononucleosis. PRPGV, extant virus. These are the DNA enveloped virus. They have some, same like, fever, sore throat, aggregate pharyngitis is the main common in infectious mononucleosis, and lymphadenopathy and splenomegaly and hepatitis. Here are some additional symptoms in infectious mononucleosis. You can see here in Pennsylvania, there's no any immediate pharyngitis or lymphadenopathy, splenomegaly and hepatitis. Okay, but here some vesicular erosion on the south plate and palate. Here are some additional points of Pennsylvania. You can see here the cytomegalovirus. They are mostly affect immunosuppressed soft cell infection. In the condition, the immunosuppressed soft cell patients are very effective in the condition of cytomegalovirus. It mimics infectious mononucleosis but gives up the antibody to medicine. It means they have cytomegalovirus. And the pharyngopenetrable fever is also called as the adenovirus. It has the sore throat, fever, conjunctivitis. There may be pain in abdomen as well, and mimicking some appendicitis as well. Now it is very different from others. It has the same sore throat and fever, but the conjunctivitis is there, and the pain, the abdomen, mimicking appendicitis. Some coccus virus is also may cause acute lymphonodular pharyngitis. They have some fever, malaise, and sore throat. Some white yellow solid nodules appear on the posterior pharyngeal wall in the type of the pharyngitis. It has some indication or we can say diagnostic point of this coccus virus. The white yellow solid nodules which may appear on the posterior pharyngeal wall in the type of the pharyngitis. Okay. And some measles and chickenpox may also cause the pharyngitis. You have the feelings of cope-like spots. It's like white spots surrounded by the red areola. It means that we have a white spot but surrounded by the red areola on the buccal mucosa opposite to the molar teeth. These spots appear 3 to 4 days before the appearance of the races. Now, some fungal pharyngitis also may cause this candida infection of the oropharynx and also extension of the oral pharynx. You can see the candida albicans are very important, and may commonly cause oral thrush. Then this infection of oropharynx can occur in the extension of oral thrush. If we don't treat the oral thrush, it may cause the infection of the oropharynx as well. If we treat it in very seriously, then it may cause it. I can say in my thought about that, the candida infection of the oropharynx can occur in the extension of oral thrush. It is not treatable. It is untreatable. It may cause it pharyngitis. In seeing patients in immunosuppressed, as we have seen in some other viruses as well, some immunocompression, debilitated or taking high doses of antimicrobial. Nicotin is a drug of choice for this. Some miscellaneous causes of pharyngitis, some chlamydia, trachomatis infection which may cause the acute pharyngitis and can be treated by erythromycin or sulfonamide. Okay, toxoplasmosis is caused by the Toxoplasma gondii, an obligate intracellular peroxide. It is all about the acute pharyngitis.